You are listening to the Mark Lesko podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko podcast.
What's up, Yinzers? Welcome to the Mark Lesko podcast. I'm your host, J-Rod, and this is Black and Gold Mondays. Guys, we are just a week into the Winter Olympics, and we do have 4 players for the Pittsburgh Penguins represented in the Olympics. We do have Mr. Sidney Crosby for the for Canada, and we do also have, I believe it's Erik Karlsson and Rickard Reichel for the Swedens, and we have Mr. Arthur Shilos for Latvia. And if I bring this up here for you guys, something's going on here. Apologize, guys. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, so tomorrow starts the, I believe, quarterfinals for the ice hockey and men's for the Olympics. We have Germany taking on France. We have Switzerland taking on Italy. And we have, Czechia against Denmark. And we have Sweden taking on Latvia. So, unfortunately for our Penguins, 3 of our guys are going to be eliminated. Or one of the 3 are going to be eliminated because Sweden has 2 players on their team and Latvia has the 1. So, I mean, we'd like to root for these guys. But if we move on from that, it looks like they are going to take on either Slovakia, Canada, Finland, or the USA. No USA representatives for the Penguins in this one. But, hey, that's pretty darn cool, though, to see that we do have some guys representing in the Winter Olympics. And it's been a really fun Olympics season so far. I've watched several events. I haven't watched everything. I've seen the U.S. win in figure skating. I saw the both men and women's speed skating, and I saw a little bit of the luge. I saw I think that it was because it was Italy. I think there was one gentleman who did win for the. I think he placed. I don't know if he won the. I don't know if he played or not and got a medal or not, but he was one of the better laps in that competition. I mean, there's several things you see in the Olympics for the wintertime. And yeah, ice hockey is big on it. So Sydney doing what he's doing, that's pretty awesome to see that. Hopefully that they have a good showing against the United States. It's pretty much guaranteed the United States is going to take on Canada in the finals for the gold. And hey, we're going to be rooting them on. It's going to be a great matchup. I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's the only time you're going to root against Sydney because, again, it's USA all the way. And but yeah, we're just a couple weeks away from getting back into competition. Yeah, so seeing these guys represent their countries, it's the coolest story. But ultimately, I'd like to think that we're going to have to hold off until, it's the finals. So we're still a week away from that. But knowing that United States potentially will face either Sweden or Latvia, knowing that our guys are on those teams, it's a bittersweet thing to have to do it. But that's really what it's all about, guys. It's about international competition. It's about these guys showing the pride for their country. I very much appreciate what these guys have accomplished so far this year, and these are some of the more important players. Erik Karlsson and Rickard Reichel and Shilos. I mean, they have just become a very important setup, guys, for this whole season. We look back on this whole season up until this point. These are the more important players that have gotten us to this point, that have resurged these guys into the playoff competition and conversation. We all thought that this was going to be a pretty tough transition after last season, knowing they did struggle without these players. So when we acquired these guys, seeing how the GM and the front office have made the deals they made this offseason, and also acquiring Dan Muse, these definitely have been some of the more impressive stats you could have asked for the Penguins in the last several years. We have not seen them look this competitive probably since COVID. I know that they didn't have the best situation and or team even then, but at least they were still that competitive team that would always go to the playoffs. But yeah, these last several years, we have not seen any identity. We've seen a bunch of recycling and shifting back and forth to older and younger guys, and it just didn't work. And everything this year is clicking. And I mean, that really does show you how important it is to have the right coach for the right players. And this is right now the best team this has been since COVID. And I very much am impressed with what the Penguins have acquired, what they have shown, and having the representatives in the Olympics. This is just one of the coolest stories to know that we could be seeing gold for Crosby or Sweden. But, USA guys, we know we represent all the way for them. So it stinks that we don't have a USA representative, but it is what it is. And we'll be watching. It'll be a good one. And we can't wait to get back into hockey. So this is a good thing, seeing these guys in playoff contention. Can't wait to get back to it. So let's move on, guys, to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Folks, we are officially starting spring training this week. It's our first spring training game against, I want to say the Blue Jays. I want to say that. I don't want to get that wrong. Let me just double check that really quick. I was wrong on that. It is the Orioles. It was a bird. I was the wrong bird. And then we face the Phillies. And then I think we do a split game against the Rays and the Phillies. We'll have a split squad. And then we're going to have Yankees on Monday. Oh, guys, to have baseball back soon. Oh, I'm so pumped. I understand there have been a lot of back and forth conversations with Kutch. I know that the offseason has required a lot of drama and a lot of excitement. This is one of the more impressive off seasons the Pittsburgh Pirates have put together. So knowing that this team is going into this season with a lot of expectation, it is mostly for Paul Skeens. If we did not have Paul Skeens on this roster, I don't think we have this kind of push. But he has voiced it on many occasions that this team needs to give the fans something to look for this offseason or in this 2026 season, because, again, everything is pointing to 2027 being gone. There's no way we're having a MLB season in 2027. Just no way. So this is the final chance we can use Paul Skeens and company to the best of their ability before the salary cap is introduced and inserted. So I know that going into this season, we saw the news that Jared Jones is going to be on the 60-day IL. I did call that. I knew they weren't going to have him ready by the season. And this Jose, Urquidy, I think that's how you say the guy's last name. He was a part of the Astros team. He has World Series experience. He has World Series. He has won games in the World Series. So to have that kind of experience in your rotation right now, that is a huge help. However, they still have not acquired a left-handed pitcher. They need a southpaw in the starting rotation. Could that very well be Hunter Barco? That would be a cool story to know that a rookie coming from AAA would be inserted into the rotation and take off just like Jared Jones did 2 years ago, Bubba Chandler last year, and to insert him with a Paul Skeens storyline, that'd be so cool. It would be. But I feel like how they're going to handle the start of the season is, again, Jared Jones will not be back, it sounds like, until at least mid-May, maybe Memorial Day by the time he gets there. And it would not surprise me if the Pirates were to do the same thing with Connor Griffin. Everyone's talking, Connor Griffin could make the opening day roster. I don't know. Because, again, we know how this organization works. They refuse to buy into what the fans want. They just do whatever they think is going to be the way to handle things. So I just don't see how Connor Griffin makes the opening day roster because of this ridiculous organization. I want to see it so bad. I know this dude is very much the Paul Skeens of the offense. I mean, we have Paul Skeens as a pitcher. We have Connor Griffin. I mean, these are the two young studs who are ready to take on the world and make their names be known. I mean, Connor Griffin, when he was interviewed at Pittsburgh Sportsnet, I mean, he said he wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. I know every player thinks that, but the dude actually came out and said on camera that he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. So that's a lot of expectation for this player, and I'm very excited to see what this kid has to offer. I personally am feeling like this is going to be a thing. This is going to be like, for all we know, this guy could be the new Andrew McCutchen. This guy could be the new Neil Walker. I mean, the name that you solidify with a guy, and he is the face of a franchise. He really could be that for their line. I mean, seeing, of course, these new guys, we've talked about them all off season when they acquired Ryan O'Hearn, Brandon Lau, and now Marcelo Zuna. This is a lineup that has improved immensely. This is one of the most improved teams from 2025 for sure. I think we have added at least 10 to 12 wins. Now, I'll get into my predictions next week when Pirate Central returns next Monday. I'm making the announcement. I do want to take this time real quick to say that I am going to have a weekly setup for Pirate Central and Penguin Central when the Penguins come back. And this whole spring training, preseason stuff, I'll be making my predictions. I will be making all of the setups for the lineups. I'll be going into in-depth analysis on each player, what they bring to the roster, how the 26-man roster is going to look, and again, all the predictions for the 2026 season with the NL Central, with the National League itself, and all of baseball. I'll be making all those predictions starting next week, and we're going to go all the way into opening day, guys. This is great. I cannot wait for this. I'm so stinking pumped. But yeah, seeing the news that AJ Burnett was in spring training camp, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that was Batman for us. He was the guy who started the whole thing with Kutch and company back in the day, making that incredible run with Clint Hurdle being the manager. It was just such a great atmosphere. I cannot believe it's been 10 years since this organization's not been in the postseason with those guys. It was a great thing to be a part of. I can say I went to games when they were competitive and they were in playoff contention. That atmosphere is unlike anything else. When you are a part of playoff baseball, not playoff football, playoff hockey, or whatever, it's the playoff baseball is just, it just has a different animal to it. Like the anticipation and everyone's energy in the park, it's just awesome. So I got the feeling, guys. I did have that feeling in 2012 and 2018 that they were going to have a chance to get to the postseason. I did have these two feelings, and I'm having it again. Everything is really going in the right direction for this team to be competitive, to have a chance. I'm not saying the crazy, we're going all the way, but we're definitely in that competitive stage. Now, I'll be making, again, my predictions as the preseason goes on, and I do have a bit of a surprise when I start to make my predictions for the NL Central. So stay tuned for that, guys. And yeah, this is going to be a real fun season. I'm getting the feeling, you guys. I'm buying into it. I understand it has a little bit of a downer with Kutch not being here, but these guys, the players they have, they are going to improve. They are going to be competitive. They are going to try to make noise in the National League. So just prepare yourselves, guys. It's going to be a good one. All right. One more guy. We are going into the Steelers. And, seeing how everything is set up and seeing how everything goes down with these players in the offseason, the big question really now is, do the Steelers have the ability to stay competitive without knowing that quarterback, knowing that Aaron Rodgers may take until draft day or sometime in mini camps, like, will he come back again and do it again? I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but we know that guys like Will Howard or Mason Rudolph deserve a chance to actually be a franchise guy. I mean, we need to have an answer within the next, I want to say at least 2 years, because before you know it, these guys are going to be too old. We're going to have to resurge the entire defense because, again, if Cam comes back for one more year, this has to be it. The guy's going to be almost 40. It's just, I don't think it's necessary for anyone who is past 37, 38 years old to prove themselves defensively because your body takes hits. And I know he's a big guy, but that needs to be answered in that sense. Do we have enough with these players that we currently have to make a push next year? This needs to be addressed. And again, I just saw the news broke that Tyreek Hill has been released from the Miami Dolphins. I mean, would a player like that be needed in this type of environment? Geez. I mean, the talent we would definitely like, but the player's personality that has to come with it. It's unfortunate. I mean, if only we could just lock it all out when the doors shut at the stadium or at the park, just to have these guys as talents be the only thing that matters. But this is the world we live in, guys. In the world of social media, we have no choice but to hear about everybody's personal stuff, and we see it on display at all time. I mean, me personally, I would rather just talk the stuff, like talk the stats, talk the plays on the field. I just would rather do that. I have no real desire to go into what these personal lives or what the issues are with these players. I would rather just talk about the fact that a guy who has the talent like Tyreek Hill could be out there to take. And would that answer a lot of wide receiver questions? Talent-wise, yes. But drama, here we go again. This just needs to stop. The drama aspect of the Steelers' lives needs to be put on hold. I mean, I cannot believe that ever since Antonio Brown leaked the video that Tomlin put on his team's speech in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots in 2017, they have just been a media circus. And I'm waiting for the day where all I care or hear about is the stats again. I would like nothing more than for this team to just go back to the way it was. Just put your nose down, tackle, get these guys ready for the season, have a good season, and be winners again. I mean, I feel like we have just been struggling to have an identity as what we once were. And that has not been the case for some time. That identity of just being winners and just playing good football has not been around for quite some time. I do miss it, and I really hope that we get it back. And with a guy like Mike McCarthy, who's a yinzer, maybe he'll bring an old school mentality that kind of brings everyone back and makes them realize we need to just focus on the field, focus on the game, focus on the plays. And if we have that, maybe this stuff will be good again. I'm not sure where we stand in the AFC right now, but it's definitely, we need to have a different direction than what we've had. I mean, the Mike Tomlin years, even though they had all these great runs and all these great players, yes, it has been a nice story, but in the end, it never resulted to a championship. We always had to settle for just being good enough to get there. I know that the talent is good enough to get there again, but how far can we go? I mean, winning a playoff game is a must for the Steelers this year. It's not even a question of rebuilding at this point. It's just they need to find a way to get it going and just be the team they once were. I know that the identity of this team has really gone all over the place ever since the Big Ben story broke out about guys like Joey Porter Sr. and James Harrison just basically attacking Ben on social media about the kind of player he was and the person he was. He wasn't a good teammate, wasn't a good guy. I mean, is all of that true? I mean, I would like to think it is. I never did care for Big Ben's personality off the field, but if he wasn't our quarterback, guys, we would not have had our championships. we would not have had the runs that we had in the early years. He was as essential as Troy Polamalu, Brett Kiesel, and Hines Ward, the guys that were the reasons why they were successful for such a long time and why they were champions. He was absolutely a part of that. And yeah, I'm not a fan of when guys have such an ego that they know what they can do. But in that particular role, I think there is the exception of it where, yes, you have to have a little bit of the attitude. And again, I don't want to be hypocritical with Aaron Rodgers because I've had my words about him and his attitude basically being the same thing. But, the result was Ben was in a great group. Like, they set him up to be successful for the beginning of his career. And, Aaron found that success with Mike McCarthy with the Packers way back when. So it's very difficult to know. Sorry. It's very difficult to know what's going to make you competitive in the right way and how you're going to get there. I just only hope that a guy like Mike McCarthy can finally find some footing and get the right plays together with his coordinators, that it's going to be so essential what's going to be coming in the offseason. So it's going to be a long wait, guys, until minicamp, but I'm looking forward to what they have for this coming season. So I'm going to wrap up, guys, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Please like and subscribe to Mark Lesko Podcast, and I will see you guys for the next video. And until that time, you guys enjoy being black and gold.